turn off the lights, put on your headphones, and remember, sleep isn't always safe. The laughing corpse, she waits at grave 39. In one corner of your thumbnail, true scary story. Book intro, episode 1 opening. If you ever hear laughter coming from a grave, don't look back, because if you see her once, you'll never sleep again. Episode 1, The Dare. Mark was a struggling YouTuber desperate for views. One night, his friends dared him. Spend just 1 hour in the old Willow graveyard and win $100. Simple enough until they mentioned grave 39. Legend said the woman buried there laughed in her coffin, and still does. Kevin, Mark's best friend, begged him not to go. There's something wrong with that place. Something watches you. But Mark laughed it off. I need the views. Let's film it. At 11:30 p.m., they arrive at the rusted gates. Kevin reached to push them, but they creaked open on their own, as if the cemetery was welcoming them in. Episode 2, The First Step. As they stepped inside, the wind completely stopped. The air turned heavy. Dead trees bent low like they were bowing to something buried below. Mark began recording, but the camera flickered with static. Kevin noticed something odd. The names on the graves were gone. Only numbers remained. Why are the names erased? Kevin whispered. Suddenly, movement near a row of graves. Something black, formless, slithered across the dirt. Mark froze. Did you see that? Kevin didn't reply. His eyes were wide, fixed on one grave ahead. Grave 39. Episode 3, Grave 39. Grave was old and sunken, covered in dead moss. A rusted tag was barely legible, 39. Mark pointed the camera. Just as he hit record, a sound came from beneath the soil. A wheezy, dry laugh, like broken lungs trying to giggle. Kevin backed away fast. The dirt started cracking. A single blue, decayed finger pushed up through the ground. Mark whispered, Is someone buried alive? The camera began glitching, and on the screen, a face appeared. Rotten, female, smiling. Episode 4, The Laughing Face. It wasn't just a smile. It was a grin stretched far, lips cracked, cheeks torn, yet still laughing. Kevin screamed, but Mark couldn't move. The face rose higher. Half of her body emerged. Her eyes were pure white, and she was laughing louder, not like a person, like something that had never been human. Mark stared into the lens. The screen glowed red. Message appeared. You woke me up. Then the camera died. Episode 5, The Gates Lock. They ran toward the entrance, but the cemetery gates had sealed shut. Kevin kicked and banged, but they wouldn't budge. Mark turned on the camera again. Now the screen only blinked red and black. Then came the sounds. More laughter, but this time dozens of voices. Every grave in the cemetery was giggling, from grave 21 to 67. Laughter, dry, rotten, hungry. Mark turned. She was standing behind him, hovering above the ground, arms outstretched. Episode 6, The Breath of the Grave. Her mouth opened unnaturally wide, and a scream laugh came out that shook the trees. Kevin dragged Mark and bolted into a nearby ruined chapel. The door slammed shut behind them. Inside, ancient paintings hung crooked on the walls. Every portrait had the same white eyes. Every face was smiling. In the corner stood an old mirror. Mark peeked inside, but instead of his reflection, he saw her, and she was walking toward him from inside the glass. Episode 7, The Red Light. The ceiling cracked. A red light beamed down into the chapel. Dust rose from the floor, revealing a strange circle of symbols. Kevin gasped. Mark stepped into the circle. The air turned ice cold. The woman's voice echoed all around them. You laughed at me. Now you'll laugh forever. Mark collapsed. When he looked up, he was inside a coffin. The lid slammed shut. Kevin screamed, but Mark was gone. Episode 8, No More Sleep. Mark's body was never found, but that night, his mother got a call. She answered, and all she heard was laughter on the line. Deep, wet, endless. The next day, Mark's YouTube channel uploaded a video on its own. A black screen with one sentence. I'm awake. You're next. That video got 800,000 views overnight, and 17 people were found, dead in their sleep, smiling. Episode 9, Returned. 3 days later, there was a knock at Mark's parents' door. His mother opened it. Mark was standing there, dirty, pale, but smiling. He stepped inside, saying, "Don't worry, I'm better now." At night, his father found him in the basement, standing still, eyes white, and whispering, "She sleeps inside me now." Episode 10, spreading. One by one, people started vanishing. Those who watched the video said they dreamed of Grave 39. Every dream ended the same. Laughter, a mirror, and then blackness. Dozens died in their sleep. Hospitals couldn't explain it. Every victim had a smile on their face and dirt under their fingernails. Episode 11, The Investigator. Professor Hart, a supernatural historian, began digging into the legend. He discovered that Grave 39 once held a woman named Margot Delvine, committed to an asylum for uncontrollable laughter. She died laughing and was buried alive. He watched Mark's video. 3 hours later, he was found laughing in his sleep. Episode 12, The Dream Door. Professor Hart's journal revealed his last dream. He stood in a sea of coffins. One opened. Mark crawled out, followed by hundreds of wide-eyed figures. One stepped close. Her smile split to her ears, and she whispered, "Now you see me." He awoke screaming, then died, still laughing. Episode 13, Her Voice. The voice spread. Phones rang at 3:39 a.m. Every time, it was her laugh. Every call traced back to an unknown number. Police investigated, but every officer who entered the graveyard was never seen again. Only their body cams were recovered, showing static, then a single white eye on the screen. Blinking. Episode 14, Final Upload. One final video appeared on Mark's channel. A girl named Ella had uploaded it. In the footage, she stands before Grave 39, her voice trembling. "If you're watching this, please don't laugh." Then her smile twitches. She looks off camera and screams. Cut to black. Then the message, "She's behind you." Episode 15, Never Stops. They say the grave is now empty, but the curse still spreads. Through the video, through dreams, through laughter. If you heard it once, you carry it forever. If you hear laughter tonight, don't look behind you, because the laughing corpse is waiting, and she never sleeps.